Hi, everybody. I know it's been a long time, and I am happy to be back at it. I took a break for a little while because if you watched my last video, I touched upon probably some of the healing work that I was doing for myself and also on behalf of my family. And when you start shifting some of these stale types of energies around, a lot happens. So I took a break. It was like a self-care break because I always want to be at my best and I always want to have the clearest channel for when I come to you to share any insight, anything that's divined through me. So I am most certainly happy to be back. And before I get to the messages that I have for you today, I have some really happy news about my personal ascension. So when I began my ascension and I went through the dark night of the soul, one of the things I would say about how all of this felt for me was I felt like I jumped off a coastline and started swimming and was too far to go back, but didn't know where I was going. Like, I didn't know how much farther it would be to get to shore on the other side. And I do have to say, after a lot of the work that I've been doing, I finally feel more into this new person that I am and feeling more comfortable about swimming in this sea and knowing that I'm headed to something very tangible on the other side. But most importantly, I'm feeling pretty good about floating around at sea. I've been reading a book lately. It's called When Things Fall Apart. I think her name is, and I'll probably get this wrong, Pema Chodron. Next time I do the video, I'll show you the book. It just, I don't know, it just came to me to mention it to you. But she speaks about something called, groundlessness. Like everything that we do, we try to get grounded. We try to have safety. We try to have security under our feet. When you're looking at energy work and working with chakras, of course you have to be grounded when you're doing energy work. And that means, settled in a space so you're not floating off or passing out. I get it. But we look for being grounded in our lives. You look for safety and security in the things that we're doing in our relationships. We want them to last, and we just don't fully accept this idea of impermanence. And being comfortable with groundlessness, being on the brink, is critical, because when you can just live life like the flowing of the tide in and out, it helps you to adjust to the shifts and the ebbs and the flows a whole lot easier when you understand that there is no complete security in anything, and you'll be ready to shift and move as you need to help you get through it. So that's one of the things I've been working on, and now I kind of feel quite comfortable being in this open water abyss, anything you want to call it. So I'm happy to be able to share with you getting to this place, because there are some periods of time where you feel like you done lost everything out from under you. And when you get to a point where it feels okay, I feel like that's a good spot to be in. So I have two cards that I pulled, and one is from my Whispers of Healing deck. I love this deck. I'm sorry. It's just so pretty and nice, and healing is, I feel like a lot of us are really taking it up in earnest. So I've been focusing on this deck a lot. And the card that I got today is Compassion. And it says compassion. This card is really about being compassionate in terms of forgiveness. Forgiving other people. But you know what I always say? Forgive yourself first. Have compassion for yourself first. Because when you do that, you can have more compassion for others. When you sit with yourself and you recognize your weaknesses, you get in touch with that groundlessness and that feeling of fear that you get from feeling unstable. It helps you better understand where other people are coming from. And when you can better understand where other people are coming from, that turns into more compassion for them, because you can better relate to them once you relate well with yourself. And when you accept yourself in those moments of confusion and not feeling anything under your feet, then you can understand that the next person might be feeling the same way. You know, one day I was walking to work, I was on a bus, and for some reason I was just feeling like completely emotional. Like I was ready to like cry on the bus, and I'm just like, oh, something's coming up for me, I gotta let it come up. And I get off the bus and I'm just trying to like hold it in, like hold the tears. And then I stopped and I said, I wonder how many other people walking around here feel the same way. Like they feel like they're just holding their tears back for some reason. Like, what if they feel like me? And in the moment, like I keep to myself a lot. I don't engage that much outside. But when the moment where I just felt like I was connected to like nothing at the time, I was going to break down and just blubber all over the place. I got in the elevator and someone had actually held the door for me. And it was just the two of us. And I was like about to just start crybabying. And when this person got to their floor, I was just like, hey, you know, have a good day. Because in that moment, I just needed something very human and very regular to occur. And I stepped out of my comfort zone, because I usually don't say much to people, but I was like, I just needed to do this. I needed to. When I felt so not grounded and so vulnerable in that moment, it helped me to really feel this connection to others and humanity and just little things that you can do. Because when I told that person have a great day, they turned around and gave me like the biggest smile ever, you know. And for me, that was huge, because I felt like even in my moment of crisis and ridiculousness, I wanted to lend myself to somebody else. And that's what I find to be compassion. Because in recognizing my feeling at the moment, but then also it made me feel connected to another person, even though we don't know each other. Like, I don't know. And I just needed to do that. And that was my moment for compassion. So take care of yourself, acknowledge your feels, and that can help you feel more connected to other people, and you can respect their feels. And I just think it just makes for a more harmonious existence. So if there's something you're holding on to, whether it's with yourself or with others, just kind of think about it. Think about you potentially being in their position, how you would have felt, or maybe consider what they may have been going through at the time, and just try to use that as a channel for you to forgive. You know, and forgiveness is not condoning what someone has done. You don't have to forget, but forgiveness is for you. And the one thing about holding resentments and anger is that holding anger is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. Anger hurts you. So when you come to forgive another person, you are making a choice to heal. You are making a choice to move forward. You are making a choice to drop the baggage, to drop the pain. It may not happen overnight. You may have to talk yourself through it. And a friend of mine that I really appreciate, Miss Shawnee Benton Gibson, she did a conference yesterday, Motherwit conference, and the theme of it was healing on fertile ground. And for me, I feel like healing on fertile ground means attempting to make amends or forgiving and moving forward. because that leaves you in a place where you can grow. And choosing to heal, wanting to heal, desiring to heal, it's all leads to growth. It is about your personal growth, and that is very valuable. And when you take that up, you are doing yourself a very, very good service. So that's my compassion message for you today. And I have a new deck. It's called Nourishing Your Soul. And the thing about this deck is, this is an action item deck. Dr. Adjoa Aku, she's a clinical psychologist. She put this deck together, and it's to help people take actions in their daily lives so they can basically improve their overall existence. So I picked a card today, a card for us, and it has like an action item. So here's action item is take a survey. And this card is basically asking us, because I need to do this too, it's asking us to reach out to 3 people who are close to you and pretty much get their opinion on what they appreciate most about you. And feeling like, and analyzing how you feel based on what they've told you. And I feel like even if you get these qualities from someone that they admire about you, we can take it a step further and let them know what we admire about them. And for me, as soon as I looked at this card and I'm like, okay, well, I can ask people, you know, what they admire about me. That's cool. But then my next thought was, but I kind of want to tell some people what I admire about them. Like, one of my friends came to my mind immediately about what I admire about her. And I'm like, this is great, because now I can ask her and I can also tell her. So I think this is also a way for us to refocus, especially for those of you who are starting businesses, in businesses, or trying to figure out your purpose. It's always good to ask people around you what they think about you, because then I can help you understand more what your skills are, and you can extend that into your purpose work. So if someone tells me, you know, you're a really good planner, like you're organized with that, then I'm like, oh, hey, maybe I can help people organize their lives. Or, you know, some things that we just do and it's a part of our personality, we just do them on a daily basis. We don't see them as being great, being phenomenal. So this is the opportunity to learn from other people who know you well, where you are phenomenal, where you are great, what they appreciate about you, and you can turn that into something. Try it. I'm going to do this thing, and when I come back, I'm going to tell you what people said about me and what I said about them. Okay? I will also tell you some of the things that I'm going to be working on, that I am working on right now, in the next video. And I'm happy to be back, and I don't want to keep you much longer, so I will catch up with you, I don't know, hopefully later on this week, maybe sooner, because I feel like maybe I should talk to you all more. So if you're watching this, thank you so much. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for subscribing my channel or liking anything that I do. I appreciate you. Namaste.